Hi everyone. Right, welcome. In this video, I would like to give you tips. This is quite handy. I have faced it before, that's why I'm doing this video. It comes quite handy when you have so many infrastructure going on and you're not too sure what to do. Right, this is what we call Terraform state, okay, backend state management. By that we mean you have your backend, okay, and the file path or the key has changed. How do you manage that safely? Okay, in this video, that's what I'm going to walk you through. So let's quickly go to the console and I'll walk you through what we are going to do. Okay, so I have my, okay, let's open up my Terraform code, bring it up here. Right, so this is what we provision. We got our resource. So Terraform backend, this is what we are going to have our state, okay, and has a key. The key is the folder path where the state is going to be kept, okay. And then we have the bucket. So this is the bucket and this is the object, yeah, within the bucket. The object is the key, right? And we are going to provision these users, no problems at all. But when we finish, we will try and mimic what we are trying to stimulate here, okay. So let's actually provision this resource. So let's go Terraform init, yeah, okay, and then enter. Okay, so we initializing the backend. Okay, the backend is getting initialized. Now it's done. Okay, so let's provision the resource. Okay, so again, we will say Terraform. You know what? Let's apply this and do automatic approve. Approve. So auto approve. Yeah, just approve this without asking me yes or no. Okay, we happy with that. Enter. Okay, so the resource will be provisioned. Let's give it a minute. Okay, right, so it will run a plan and then provision the resource. So let me show you the backend, okay, the path. As you can see in it, DevOps Terraform, yeah. So go back to my management console here and S3, let me find it here. Okay, within here I've got it in the Salesforce. Okay, so I provision the resource. Let me refresh that quickly, see what we have. Okay, inside of this bucket, like I said, the key is object. Okay, it's a folder, it's a subfolder actually within this bucket. Okay, and then inside of this init, we have another folder called the DevOps, and then inside that, this is the state. Okay, you can download this Terraform state if you want and have a look at it. Okay, right. So let's assume, and I have personally faced this before in the work area, and so I created this backend, but the name, like for example, is dev, and you made it DevOps, and some of your team members have picked it up. You've already provisioned the resource. The state file is there. How are you going to do this? You can't just come in here and just change the name here. You can't. So you do that at the back end, but you can't just change the back end and thinking it will automatically be done. Okay. When you change the backend, Terraform will assume that that's a new Terraform backend that you need to put the state. It will try and provision the resource again. You do not want that. Okay. Hence, we are using the Terraform init, okay, migrate state. Okay, so let's go back to the Visual Studio Code and I'll show you again. Back here. So now if I just change the name like that, okay, it will assume that there's a new backend and therefore this resources is going to be recreated. We don't want that. So we change that, okay, to the name that it has to be. We need to run the migrate command. Okay, let me clear the screen quickly. So Control L here. Okay, on my keypad I press Control L. So the command, okay, I will just paste it here and I'll show you. So we are saying Terraform init. So initialize again. What does the Terraform init does? Okay, it will initialize the backend. Okay, it will initialize the backend, but once it's initialized, it is going to check the state and see, oh, the previous key is different from what it has in this configuration file, and it will ask you, do you want to migrate? If you press yes, it will change, basically rename. Okay, it will rename the file. Actually, it will create a new one and migrate, okay, the state into the new key, or into the new bucket with that key. And then afterwards, you can delete the old one. Okay, so we saw what we had earlier. Okay, I'll show you. So this is the command. Okay, Terraform is going to compare and then um, tell you what action you need to take next. Okay, so let's press enter. Right, can you see it's initializing the backend, and it has detected that the backend key has changed. We changed it to dev, it was DevOps. Yeah, now it's telling you, right, you know, do you want to copy existing state to the new backend? Yeah, if you say yes, it's going to copy this into the new backend. Basically, the state is going to move into this object, right? Okay, let's press yes. Okay, I'll say yes, I want to do it. Okay, and then successfully configure the backend again. Okay, so now everything is sorted. You have successfully migrated. Let's go to the console and see what happened. What is the difference? Okay, if you don't run the migrate, it's not gonna work. So let's go back to the console. Can you see this? Right, it will still be there. Let's refresh this. Let's go back to the end again. Right, now can you see we got different folder structure here? Now we have dev. So basically it moved the states in here in the DevOps and transferred them into the dev. Now this become a bit redundant. You don't really need this because the state has been moved. So you can easily delete this. So let's, put this in the bin and say delete. Okay, because you don't want it. It's a duplicate, okay, of the state file. You can delete that. And now, let me close this. Okay, now if we have the dev, which matches what we have here instead of the DevOps. Okay, so go back here, and then you can see inside that you have your state, and inside that you can download your Terraform state if you want. So this is a quite quick video. Initially when I experienced this, I was like, what should I do? And I thought somebody out there might also need this. Okay, so I hope this helped. I will see you in our next video. So don't be afraid to start using some of this command on your own, so you become conversant and competent going forward. Like I said, I'll do full-blown video with Terraform from beginners to, what I would say a pro level. Okay, so we will get there at some point, but for now let's keep cracking on the cloud within AWS. I will see you in my next video. Thank you very much for your time. Keep subscribing and keep sharing my video. If you like them, give me a thumbs up and comment in the video. If you want me to do any other video, please put in the comment. Happy learning. Bye bye.